Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be unboxing April's mystery box from Your Creative Studio. If you've never seen a Your Creative Studio unboxing, it is a subscription box filled with vintage themed stationery and supplies for crafting, junk journaling, planning, memory keeping, or scrapbooking. So let's go ahead and get into this box, and I will link Your Creative Studio's information and website down below. Right now I think you can pre-order for May's subscription box. Let's go ahead and open this up and take out our little bundle of goodies. Okay, oops, stick that back in there. And we have a thank you card as always, and a little piece of ephemera that you can use in your junk journal. So really cute. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and slide everything out instead of trying to tear open the paper this time. I'm just gonna slide it out, okay. And I like to save the paper for using in my junk journals. I always save the paper because it's really cute. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. It looks like we have a stamp that fell out, but a very beautiful wooden stamp with some flowers coming out of a pot. And I am going to be doing a journal with me, or a spread in my junk journal with some of these supplies at the end, so you guys can see how I use some of the supplies that come in these boxes. And I'm also going to be using some personal ephemera. So we have one really nice wood stamp so far, and then another wooden stamp. Oh, this one's really pretty too. Okay, so this one's a wagon with flowers. So here are the wooden stamps, and I am going to use one of these in that journal spread at the end. We have some washi tape, so I'm gonna go ahead and open that up. Okay, so the washi tape is a little different. They are a bunch of these like really pretty vintage looking perfume bottles, but you can tear them off to make them look kind of like a stamp. But I'm not going to take these off because once you peel it back, you kind of need to use it because it's going to want to tear off. So I think this is really neat. I can't wait to use this. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside, and I'm gonna try to put this one back on there. But really cute, a bunch of perfume bottles. I don't have anything like that. Next up, we have some stamp deco stickers. I love these. These are one of my favorite items. I have received a lot of boxes that have botanical, like postage looking stickers in them. They're so cute. So it looks like you get 2 of each print in here. So really beautiful, very nice quality. They're not like that thin, like washi sticker. So these are really beautiful. Have a bunch of botanicals right there. We have some more stamps, and these are peel and individual stick stamps. So you need probably like an acrylic block, stamping block to use. So this is the one that I use to put these little stamps on, and it looks like a garden set. So we have some garden tools, some words, a little watering can, and a hat. So I think the theme of this box is gardening and flowers. Perfect for spring. And what do we have here? Ooh, are those real flowers? Branches of flowers. Let's go ahead and open. Yeah, I'm gonna do it from this end. Open this up. Okay, so yes, we have some real pressed flowers. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Let me see if, okay, that's what that looks like. And then we have some deco stickers in here, 2 of each. So these ones are kind of like that transparent look, has a little bit of transparency in them, which is perfect for layering and collaging. And then what else? Ooh, these ones are nice. I love little deco stickers like this that have lines on them because they're perfect for journaling. And some more deco papers. So half of these I think are like deco, or these all papers. Maybe they're all papers. Now these ones, okay, these ones are stickers, like the washi stickers, washi looking stickers, and then these are little deco papers. So there's a little mix in here. Ooh, that's really pretty. Mushrooms, of course, I love mushrooms. Okay, I love that. Just pick the rose of life today. So there's like a little poem or a quote on there. This is like, it looks like a little specimen card. That's cute. Okay, so that is what came in that little bundle. Quite a bit of stuff in that little package. I'm surprised how much stuff came in there. We have some more stickers. Looks like some clear eucalyptus branches. That's really pretty. And then we have some more like gardening stickers. Some sticky notes. So they're all the same print, which is this really beautiful watering can with the flowers. And we have some paper ephemera in this package. Looks like quite a bit too. You can make lots of cute ephemera pieces with these little cutouts. Oh, that's cute. It's a hose winder thing. I don't know what else you call it, but oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. And how many of each do you get in here? Maybe just 1 of each. Or no, I'm sorry, 2. Look at this wheelbarrow. That's beautiful. So 2 of each of these cardstock ephemera pieces. So lots of gardening supplies and tools. Super cute. Look at that little snail. How adorable. Oh, and then even garden gnomes. They even put garden gnomes in here. So cute. Okay, so that is the ephemera pack that came in here. And next up, we have some, it looks like really delicate, almost like tissue papers in here. Let's see what this is. Okay, yeah, so these are very delicate, like collaging tissue papers. And how many do you get in here? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get 5 in there. And the very last thing is some paper ephemera. So here are all of the prints. Looks like 2 of each. That little garden gnome guy is super cute. I like how this one's pretty much blank except for the roses, because this would make a good journaling spot right here, as well as this one and this one. Really beautiful papers. And of course I love anything with like a botanical theme or image. Okay, and then these ones are kind of like vellum paper. So it looks like you get one of each of all of the prints that are in here with the vellum too. So that's nice. So here's a quick little recap of everything that came in this month's subscription box, and I absolutely love every piece. I think all of the pieces tie in together very well. Amanda always does a really great job at curating these boxes every month with a theme, and I have loved every single one of them that I've received over the last year and a half. So now that I showed you guys what came in the box, now I'm going to go ahead and start my journaling spread. And I had a lot of fun with this spread. I actually ended up doing 2 pages, and the reason why I'm speeding it up is because it did take me about 45 minutes to an hour. Just sometimes my creative process can take me quite a while, and I don't want to keep you here forever because I know you probably have things to do. So I'm just clipping back a page in this junk journal that I made a couple years ago, I think, and it's still not full. And that's because I work out of multiple junk journals. I don't just fill one up and then move on to the next. I usually have different junk journals for different themes. This one has like a vintage bird and botanical theme. I have some for fall. I have some for my kids. So I just kind of journal out of whichever one I'm feeling like for that day. And some of my junk journals I just keep completely private just because they have certain diary entries that I don't really want to share with the world. So this is one that I've had on camera the most, I guess, recently. But as you saw, I pulled out a bunch of ephemera, not a bunch, I just pulled out a few pieces of ephemera from that little file case. And I'm using this packaging from when I bought my last iPhone. It came in the box and I just thought it was really cool. I thought it'd be fun to put photos in it because it is an iPhone and I take all of my photos on my phone. So I just thought it'd be neat to kind of reuse it, and I really wanted to incorporate those dried flowers, and I didn't want them to get ruined by the page when I close the book or from just like flipping pages. So I reused some of that packaging that came in the subscription box to kind of cover it up. And then I'm just kind of sealing it up on the side with these deco stickers and stamp stickers. And I just really like how this turned out on the front. And I decided to use my glue stick versus my Tombow tape runner that I normally use, just because I knew I was going to be doing like a ton of collaging, because I wanted to use up as many items from the box as I possibly could in a video to show you guys. And I knew there was different like thicknesses with like the different papers, because some of them were cardstock, some were tissue, like this paper right here was a tissue paper, and the glue stick just worked out perfectly for this. And so did this tissue paper to cover up the inside of this little iPhone fold out, and it just worked out perfectly. So now I'm just going to do some stamping with one of those stamps, and I have a paint chip here that I'm going to use as a photo mat for a photo of my daughter eating ice cream, I think at Disneyland. I can't remember where I took this photo, but it was very recent. I know it was really recent because in my camera roll, I guess I could go back and look at the I guess location. I should have probably thought of doing that, but I didn't. Anyways, I'm using these paint chips as like photo mats, and the photo printer that I used, and I think I forgot to mention, is the Canon Selfie, and I really like it because it can make these like photo combinations, like these mini photos, and print it out on one 4x6 photo paper. And I really like that because I prefer mini photos like this in my journaling rather than a 4x6. But the Canon Selfie can print out a 4x6 photo. But again, I like using it for memory keeping and making, printing out like mini combination layouts with it. So I will link it down below from Amazon if you're interested in checking it out. But right here, I'm just journaling about our Easter brunch that we had yesterday, and how much I loved my husband's shirt choice. I thought he looked very handsome in his shirt. And we don't really take a lot of photos together. I'm always taking photos of him or him and the kids or the kids, but we rarely snap a photo together. So I had to document that. And then right here, I'm just journaling about how I forgot where I took this photo of my daughter with ice cream. I find that pretty ironic and hysterical that this is a memory keeping journal and I can't remember where I took that photo, but I'm journaling about it as if it were a memory that I remembered. I just think it's hysterical. But right here, I'm making this into a pocket. So what I'm doing is just taking some really thin double-sided tape and putting tape on 3 sides and kind of trimming it. And then once I peel off the backing of that double-sided tape and put it down against this black background, I thought it stood out so well, and I love the placement of it. And as you can see, I can tuck in little things behind that fold out, that iPhone fold out, and I can also use it as a pocket. So I just put in a parking ticket, not a parking ticket, a parking pass. What do you call it? At the airport, when you pay for parking, a parking ticket. A parking ticket to me sounds like I got a parking ticket for illegally parking or something. But and as you just saw, I used that really pretty envelope to make a fold out by just gluing the flap to the other side of the page. And I love making pockets and fold outs and things that are interactive in my junk journals. Those are my favorite things to do. I just find it really entertaining. I've always loved like busy books and pop-up books when I was a kid, and so this is kind of like the adult version for me. So I'm making a couple of pockets here for some more photos, and I'm reusing some of the packaging that some of those stickers from the subscription box came in, because it's cardstock and I thought it would make a good photo mat for a couple of photos. So I just took some of that really pretty deco paper and glued it on the back where all of the writing was, and I just used the front image as the photo mat for the picture of my son on Easter. And then this photo on the back was a picture from my son and my daughter hunting Easter eggs. And so I'm just going to be doing some collaging on both sides. Again, I'm just trying to use up as much of the supplies that came in the subscription box to show you guys how different things can be used. And I use those little stamp stickers like 5,000 times in this journal spread because I just love them so much. They're one of my favorite types of like stickers to use in my journals. They just have like that vintage feel to them, even though they're not real vintage, they just look like it. So I really like using them. And right here, I'm just journaling about how my kids woke up super early Easter, and we hadn't even put the eggs out yet. It was like 6:30, 6:45 in the morning on a Sunday, and my daughter was ready and we were not. So I kind of journaled about that, and I did use a Sharpie just because a lot of the packaging and ephemera that I was using was that kind of like slick material, so I find that using a Sharpie works better so it doesn't smear. And I'm actually surprised that I didn't smear any of my handwriting, because that never happens, because I'm left-handed and I just don't really pay attention to things like that. But as you can see, I created a cute little tuck spot for that photo mat. And it's fun to go back through old journals and interact with them and find old like hidden tuck spots that you made. Because sometimes I make them really well hidden, or like multiple fold outs that just kind of keep going on forever. Those are like my favorite kinds of spreads to do. And then I'm doing some collages on the envelope as well to decorate it. And I think one of the reasons why this spread took me so long is just because I wanted to keep playing around with all of the new stuff that I got in the subscription box, and I just wanted to keep adding more and more and more. And that's usually how it goes with most of my journal spreads. Once I get everything out on my desk and all my supplies, I just kind of go nuts and have fun with it, and it never gets boring, I will say that. So I really love the contrast of like these lighter colors that I chose on like this black scrapbooking paper. I just think it made like all of the pieces that I got really stand out and pop. And then the very last photo that I use in this spread is a picture of me and my daughter. And I have the numbers 50 in balloons in the background because I hit 50,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which was a very big milestone for me, and I was very excited, and my husband was very excited and proud. So he brought me home balloons. He surprised me with these balloons, and he took me out to dinner to celebrate. So I thought that was really sweet, and I wanted to document it. And I also want to say thank you guys for watching my videos, and if you're subscribed, if you're not subscribed, thank you so much for at least being a part of my journey and supporting my channel. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It does mean so much to me, and I just want to thank you and tell you that I appreciate you. But I'm just journaling about that on the back of this photo mat that I made with some packaging, I think is what I used on this one, as well as some of that deco paper. And I tuck it into that sweet alyssum, is that how you say it? Seed packet. So that's what I used that pocket for, was just to kind of hide this photo in. And just kidding, by the way, about that being the last photo in this journal spread, because I completely forgot about the bird picture. Even though I just did this journal spread today and I'm doing my voiceover now, I completely forgot about the bird picture. I swear, you guys, my memory lately, my long-term memory I feel like is great, but my short-term memory, not so much. I mean, I think I just have brain fog right now, to be honest, but I'm just further decorating that envelope with some more of those deco papers from the subscription box. That little mushroom label I'm going to use to journal about this little guy, this cute little bird from the San Diego Zoo. They just opened up a new hummingbird exhibit, and this is not, I don't think, a hummingbird, but they have some really pretty tropical looking exotic birds in there as well with the hummingbird. So, and that's actually one of my favorite things at the zoo is the birds, or the aviaries. Those are my favorite things to visit at the zoo. And actually, this junk journal that I'm working in right now is themed around birds, which is kind of a coincidence. So there's a lot of birds or bird images in this junk journal. I used a lot of like the Tim Holtz double-sided scrapbooking paper that have like birds and bird nests in them. And so I think it's just fitting. So I'm just journaling about that new exhibit at the San Diego Zoo right here on this little mushroom label. And just when you think I can't add any more to this spread, I add more. I can't stop. I just have so much fun collaging. It's so much fun and so relaxing for me to do. So I'm just adding more again, and I'm going to journal on this little sticky note that I put down on the bottom of this envelope. And then I realized that I actually glued in 2 sticky notes, which worked out perfectly because I ran out of space on the first sticky note. So I was able to continue journaling on the second one, which was nice. A nice little surprise. So that was just a little accident that ended up working out. And all I'm writing on these sticky notes is just kind of like an overview of some spring memories that I've already journaled about on these pages, but kind of just giving a summary, I guess, and adding a couple things too for our summer memories. Like we just went to medieval times. So that was in LA. That was really fun. And I'm going to save that for another journal spread because I think it would be really fun. I have some ephemera, like some ticket stubs and everything from medieval times. So I'm going to save that for another video. And then the final touch was just adding my date stamp, which was a fail. As you can see, I just put the 81st of April. So if you thought January was a long month, anyways, I ended up putting just like LOL on it, and I was going to leave it, but then I thought, I don't like the way that looks. So I just took the remainder of that paint chip and just covered it up and used another sticker to collage on top of it. Just when all else fails, just throw some stickers on top of your mistakes like it never happened. I wish life worked like that. But that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you did. It does help my channel out a lot, and I do appreciate it so much. But I will be sure to link Your Creative Studio's website down in the description box if you're interested in picking up a box for yourself. Just make sure that if you want to order a box that you order the month in advance or the previous month for the next month's subscription box, if that makes sense, because these boxes do tend to sell out very quickly because they are very popular among the journaling community. So if you want to get your hands on one, just again, make sure you do so. Order it in advance so you don't feel left out. But until my next one, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thanks so much for watching and take care.